Thank you. Welcome to the show. We are going to take you on an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the taping of an adult movie. Now, our cameras went to Los Angeles. Our cameras went to Los Angeles for the taping of the movie Lost Angels, starring Alex Sanders and Serenity, who are joining us here in the studio. And how did you get started in the business?
Myself?
Yes.
I used to be a ballerina, started stripping part-time because it pays better. Decided I wanted to headline and feature, went out to LA, did magazines, enjoyed that, got solicited by the XXX business, finally gave in, tried one, loved it, continued. Here I am.
Alex?
I was actually working in the mainstream part of movies as a carpenter, and I was dating this young lady who just so happened to be in it. She told me after the fact, and she said I would be very well suited for the business. So
because you had long hair?
No. Longevity. So she put me in touch with the right people, and after a while I decided that yes, this is where I belong.
Okay, what we're going to do, and I'm going to refrain, and you know, we're not passing judgment right now. We want to find out what the business is like, what the industry is really like. You know, what we know is the final product. What we don't know is what goes into it, and then later on we can have comments and all that. Let's now have a look at you guys making this film, Lost Angels.
I do film adult films throughout the year when I get a chance to come down. In the 5 years I've been doing them, I filmed about 50, give or take 5, because it's hard to keep track of them all.
We're in the middle of the desert, and I'm about to have sex with Serenity on the hood of my car. Very much like they did in the old days. Covered wagon, car.
And of course we usually do as much of the dialogue as we can before we go into the sex scenes, due to the fact is we usually get, you know, kind of messy for the sex scenes, so dialogue first.
Other men coming into business thinking that they can do it better, but in reality in the last 20, 25 years there's been a consistent handful between 10, 15 men that have been doing it for a long time. That's why they see them all the time. That should give you a hint, you know, how easy it is or how hard it is.
Serenity, this is like the second time I've worked with Serenity. Her movie, or she just got signed to a company, Wicked Pictures, who I work with, and Serenity, this is her first movie for them, so she was very excited about doing it, and interested and excited with working with me and me with her to get her in a dramatic role.
Are you cold?
I'm a very theatrical person, and it really doesn't matter what it is I do, you know, so I wasn't very shy about having sex in front of people, and it really didn't bother me to do so. In fact, it was kind of thrilling.
Sometimes we fall in love for a day. Okay, we see the woman, we know we're working with her. I'll allow myself to feel, you know, almost fall in love with the girl when I'm working with her, but once it's over, stop. Shut it right off. And that's one of the abilities that I've learned how to master. Unfortunately, it kind of, you know, blends over into my real life, and that gets you in kind of trouble, though.
When I first started in the movies, though, I just did girl-girl scenes. That was it. Usually they wanted to see the boy-girl scenes as the main roles. Just recently, I started doing boy-girl scenes. It was kind of cool working my way up to that point, because I learned a lot about the industry and matured a lot before I became a star, so hopefully everything should go great.
The difference between a female adult star and I guess you could say a civilian woman, female, is training. That's it. Anyone can do it.
What I do on film is generally what I do in my normal life. And it just kind of works out that way. I mean, for instance, you know, I had sex with women before I got into the industry. It wasn't something that it wasn't a skill that I acquired after getting into the industry. I don't know if I'd exactly call myself wholesome or anything, just kind of, you know, a sexual person who could be your next door neighbor. I only like to work with people that enjoy sex. There are a few people that I suspect may not really enjoy this job, or maybe I just met them on bad days, but if they're not enjoying it, or if this isn't something they want to do, you know, I don't really want to involve them in my sexual scenes, you know.
Women don't have to be aroused to do this. All they have to do is be willing. The man has to be aroused.
There are certain acts, like sexual acts, that I currently do not do. Basically because I don't do it in my private life. I don't find pleasure in it, so I don't do it on film.
95% of the time I'm enjoying it. You have to enjoy it to a certain degree. But if you're really not digging the girl and you're just going through the motions, you know.
I dig watching people have sex.
Some people are born to do certain things. And I think I was basically born to do something like this. I was going to either have sex anyway, or I get paid for it.
Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to meet a newlywed adult film star and her husband, who is the director. Stay with us.
I'm Julie. I'm the production manager in Los Angeles, and some of you may also know me as Julie Rage. When we come back, we're going to talk about my dual career.
Welcome back. Today we're taking an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the making of an adult movie, and we're meeting the stars who make these films. Now I want to introduce you to Julie Rage. How did you get into this business?
I just gotten out of the Army, and I answered an ad to do
Hoorah! What were you doing in the Army?
combat medic. See, so I can
basically all the
resuscitate
guys
those.
were going, I'm hit, over here. Okay, so you were a combat medic. You got out of the Army.
I got out of the Army, answered an ad to do a magazine layout. The guy took me to lunch. He said, by the way, we occasionally cast for movies, too. And I went, really? What kind of movies? He told me, and I went, I guess I can try that. Tried it. It was with Alex. And there you go. The rest is history.
See, what Alex does is he sends all these people out to meet women and say, hey, you want to get in the movies. Let's take a look at the tape now of your adventure in the world of filmdom.
I'm the production manager for Los Angeles, and I'm an actress also in porn. That's how I met my husband, the director. And basically, I'm running around crazy.
I'm Shayla LeVeaux. I am here shooting a movie with Wicked Pictures, Serenity. I'm her co-star in it. My name is Kate. And today is the only day that I'm shooting, and I have a scene with Serenity, and I just had one at the gas station. I got started, let's see here, I got started from a girlfriend of mine, Alexis DeVell. What kind of girl do you think I am? I'm from Colorado, and I went to school with her, and she kind of started doing movies. I owned my own striptease company at that time, and kind of decided to head west and see what it was like and check it out. And I was here probably a couple days and shot a movie and got put under contract right away. So kind of went very quickly, kind of got caught up in the world.
I've had sex with, I have no idea. Say 600 movies, multiply that by 2. At least 1,200 women while I got into the business. I didn't have sex till I was 19 years old.
I can live out any fantasy I've had in my mind and just experience all different kinds of sex. And it's with my friends. I've become friends with everyone and built relationships with them, and it's really comfortable.
I really enjoy the freedom, the sexual freedom, living out my fantasies, having different fantasies that I never knew existed, and I love the openness of the business. I love the people of the business. You don't really see that a lot out in society, how people are and how open you can be, so it's very refreshing.
The biggest misconception is that it's easy to do and that they'd actually have a great time at it all the time. That it's like, oh, the ultimate thing to do. Because one, you give up a lot of your personal life. You give up, well, you've got to have sex in front of everybody and their mother. You've got to do it when they say to do it. It's not where you just come in and say, oh, I feel like I'm in the mood now. I think I'll have sex with this beautiful girl. No, it's, okay, ready, action. With all of them going like this. I could do that better.
Well, I'm an exhibitionist. I don't mind them being there at all. What turns me on, besides that physical contact, is knowing that I'm going to be giving pleasure to so many people out there. So many people when you're watching this and going, wow, did you see that? Let's try that. That might be neat. That's what I hope pornos do for people, is help them to open up their minds so that, hey, I never thought of doing that. Let's try it.
I draw the line when it comes to humiliating women, degrading women, anything along those lines. I mean, as far as anything else, I'm pretty open sexually of trying new things. I enjoy trying new things. I draw the line when they ask me to do a 300-guy gangbang.
One man saw me in public when I had sweats and baseball cap on, and I just was not in the mood. I was at Blockbuster, and he's like, hey, I know you. I'm like, no, you don't. He's like, yeah, I do. So, you're a movie star, aren't you? No. You sure you're not an adult movie star? No. Yeah, you're Julie Rage, aren't you? Like, goodbye. Flip on the key, put in reverse.
I write personal letters. I do personal audio tapes, videotapes. It's really nice to get feedback from people who are watching you and sharing an intimate part of themselves with you.
They're like, dude, like, do you really do it? You know, it's like, do you really? They go, they walk up to me and they go, God, do you really do it? I mean, are you really having sex? I go, yeah.
We have, hey, we have all kinds of good things.
Don't go away. Later in the show, we'll see more of our exclusive behind-the-scenes footage, and we'll meet Julie's husband. Please stay with us.
London. I do adult movies. When we come back, you'll see the interview with me and my husband.
My new denture adhesive is polygrip free. It is free of artificial flavors, and it's free of artificial colors. Polygrip free holds my dentures tight.
Welcome back. Today we're meeting the stars of adult movies and taking you backstage for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the making of one of these X-rated films. Now, we're going to talk to some more film stars in just a moment, and we're going to find out about how this career affects their personal relationships, which leads me to my next guest, Greg Steele. He is the director of the movie Lost Angels, and I understand you are also married to Julie.
That's correct.
Yes. How... There's got to be a little bit of conflict, assuming you're just, you know, you're a normal guy. You love this woman. She is your wife. You know, one day will be the mother of your children, if you don't have children already. And yet, here she is going to work every day with you, and you're saying, okay, honey, take off your clothing. Now, Alex, get over here, and we're going to do this, and you're going to do that. That's your wife. What are you thinking?
Actually, I don't hire Julie is not on my sets as an actress. And it's separate. Her business as a star, she was doing that before we met, and I don't have the right to ask her to quit, and she doesn't ask me to quit. But we make sure we don't do it on the same set. I won't hire her in my movies. In my movies, she's my production manager, not an actress. But still, that question, she's still out there doing, Alex or whoever. Sure.
Yeah.
And I know,
That is a verb, to do.
That's right. And I know, you know, I know what goes on, and the reality is I've been doing this long enough, and to know it's business, and what you guys are seeing behind our sets is it's business. It's not love. It's not passion. It's not that. And it's business, and it's a $2 billion a year, you know, business.
But it can affect relationships, and let's take a look now at a tape when we interviewed you out there in L.A. of how it affects these personal relationships.
As long as I've been in the business, he's the only person I've been in a relationship with. For the first 6 months or more, I didn't date anybody. I just wasn't interested in dating.
Relationship-wise, you know, it's very difficult to have a relationship, if impossible, in this business. Unless you are free of mind, or where you both believe in, say, the swinging attitude or that sharing experience with other people, it won't work. Because just people get too jealous, and whether you're man or a woman, it just does not work.
My wife is Nicole London, and we came in about 5 years ago, and she started doing movies. There was no hassle with that. We got along great with the whole thing, and she's still doing it. And I did it for a little while, and now I'm behind the camera.
A lot of people might wonder if I get jealous.
I don't. We had an open relationship even before this business, and I never really got jealous. And we were able to separate sex from love. Not a lot of people can. They all think, you know, it's the same entity, but it's not.
Faster, faster.
My husband and I, we don't have a jealousy thing because I'm not going out and he's not going out. We're not going dating, whining, and dining. We're not going to a movie and then to a restaurant, and then we're not flying to Vegas.
I'm not going with Kyle.
You know, it's just pure sex, and that's all it is. There's no emotional attachment at all. I mean, I love my husband, and I know my husband loves me, and we've been together for so long. We have this trust that it's hard for people to understand unless you're in the situation. I love my husband. My heart belongs to my husband. But I love sex, too.
Most people can't handle it. Most people, husband and wives, you know, they're like, you know, you're mine, I'm yours, that's it, done, finished. She's not going to go and sneak around behind my back and go on dates and, you know, this, that, and the other. I mean, an affair is a romantic involvement. A sexual encounter is a different thing.
When I'm at home, I'm monogamous. I don't fool around with anybody. But when I'm here, I have fun.
When we decided to have a family, we had discussed, you know, what was going to happen later on when Babe was old enough, how I was going to explain what I did for a living, and it's a hard one. I can't answer it. I can't answer that until I feel she's old enough, or she starts asking me questions. But I want to let her know that sex is not a dirty thing. It's not a bad thing. And what I do, opposed to Johnny's mother, who's a secretary for a company, or his father, who's a police officer. I do porn, and I think right away I'll just say mommy models. I'm not going to go into the details because I don't think that they need to know the details.
My older sister knows, and she found out probably the second movie that I did. Her husband went out and rented the tape, and she watched it, and she was very bothered by it. I mean, she kind of goes with the stereotype and what you see in the movies as, oh, you're strung out on drugs, they have you on heroin. I mean, just the whole craziness that people think that it is from how the movies play it up. So that's the only thing she was really worried about. She actually said, do you remember when we were little and there was a name that you used to use, which is Shayla. So I'd always liked that name, and now it's just like, I mean, my heart sunk to my feet. I mean, I'm expecting it, and I've been in the business a long time. I'm surprised nobody else has found out. But I don't know, it's hard to explain to them. You know, it's hard to be open and say, oh, I enjoy doing this, I'm living out fantasies. I mean, they're from a different world, a different understanding of how they think things should be.
If my husband was still in front of the camera, I'd be sitting here watching. I would. I'd be sitting there watching. I think it's a turn on. You know, it's definitely a turn on.
Don't go away. Do you remember this child actor? Well, he's all grown up now, and he's an adult film star. We'll meet him when we come back. Stay with us.
On the next episode of Seinfeld.
And who might you be?
I might be Elaine.
This is Bob Cobb.
Maestro.
Oh, enchanté.
Does it bother you that they make the security guard just stand there all day?
No.
I can sense the slightest human suffering.
Are you sensing anything right now?
I can have as many cafe lattes as I want. That was the settlement.
You're all hopped up on the caffeine.
I got things to do. I'll see you later. Bye.
Tonight at 7, followed by Extra on KUSI.
Are you receiving money from a structured settlement, annuity, or insurance claim? Do you have a need for cash now? At J.G. Wentworth, we've helped thousands of people settle their debts, buy new homes, pay college tuitions, and open new businesses. If you're currently receiving money from a structured settlement, annuity, or insurance claim, but you need money now, call J.G. Wentworth. Call now. Operators are standing by. Call 1-800-FUND-582.
Welcome back. Welcome back. And today we're taking an exclusive look behind the scenes of an adult movie. Now, my next guest has a very unusual story. Do you remember this little boy from the movies The Toy and Christmas Story? Well, he's all grown up and starring in the movie Scotty's X-Rated Adventure. Let's meet him, Scotty Schwartz. Scotty.
How you doing, Jerry?
You're a cute little boy. What happened? What are you doing?
Just grew up a little.
I guess the fair question is, though, you know, most people go in the opposite direction. In other
Correct.
words, there are people that start out in the adult film industry and at some recesses of their mind hope for the big break which gets them into the regular movie industry.
Right.
You went the other way. You started out, hit movies, everybody immediately recognized you. Why didn't you continue in that? Why all of a sudden go to porns?
Well, as you well know, it's not really in your own power to keep yourself working. Did many other jobs besides just the 2 films that you saw. I did Broadway, I did off-Broadway, 150 commercials, and I got to about 16, did a few things, and then it kind of sputtered for quite a number of years. Not anything that I really had anything to do with.
So how old were you when you made your first adult movie?
I just did it 5 months ago.
Oh.
So, it's pretty brand new. And it was not an overnight decision. It was asking my family and my friends.
And what did your family?
This is not something.
What did your family say? Why, certainly, son.
Well,
this is
not
good.
something that you can really keep a secret.
Yeah.
You know, my dad said I was crazy. My mom just said, well, you're your own man, you're an adult, you make your own decisions. My grandfather wanted to know how much money I was going to make. You know, one of my best friends, Sally's an Italiano kid from New Jersey, goes, hey, you know, you're a little strange, you know that? So, hey, he said that, and my other friends back home, they basically just said the relationship that we have formed over the last 15 years is not going to change because I'm doing this.
Okay, we have a little clip now of you in that movie. Is that what it is? Okay, making the movie. Here's a clip of you making the movie.
Just a little clip. That's right.
What's going on?
Look, Julie, I just don't know if I can go through with this.
Shut up. You know, I have never seen anyone try so hard to be in this business, and I've invested a lot of time in you. I'm not going to let you give up now.
And 5 days and action.
Look, I'm about to show you some very, very secrets.
Go ahead. Ready? And action.
Now, I'm about to show you my own private lab, okay? You're going to see some very confidential insider secrets that no one has ever seen before. You have to swear never to tell anybody about it or that you were ever here, okay?
I won't.
No, you have to swear.
I swear, I swear.
Okay, come on.
You needed something, Mr. Johnson?
Hey, honey, I'd like to give me some dictation, okay, baby?
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Well, there's a lot more to come. When we return, we'll find out all the secrets of what goes on during the making of an adult film. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Today we've been talking with adult film stars and seeing what goes on behind the scenes of an adult movie. Now, Greg, you're the director of, let's take a look now at the making of this movie.
The industry puts out approximately 7,200 adult movies in a year.
This movie that we're doing today is called Lost Angels. It's based on a Dennis Hopper movie. And basically it's about a diamond thief and a buyer meeting out in a city called Lost Angels and the double cross that goes on behind it.
We've known Serenity for about 4.5, going on 5 years. She's the girl next door, but she has a nasty side that all guys like and that all guys want. They all want the girl next door to be some nasty girl they can go home with and have a good time with. So she brings that to us, and she's a very beautiful lady. We're very happy to have her with us.
Do I just grab with one hand?
I do a mainstream look or mainstream story, and I just get to shoot better sex than they do. And where in mainstream movies where they fade to black, that's when I just get started. And I like the freedom to be able to capture sex and make it beautiful.
Directors will usually let the actor and the actress decide on what positions that they want to do, whatever is comfortable for them. And a lot of it may have to do with where you're shooting. If you're out on a rock somewhere in the middle of the desert, you know, maybe the sky's the limit. If you're in a bathroom in an airplane, things get a little tighter and your positions suddenly drop. your possibilities definitely fall.
As far as how much money a person can make in this industry, that depends on them and how much hard work they want to put into it. As far as a male performers don't make as much as the female performers. Again, it's a flip-flop in this business as opposed to other industries. A typical male performer could make $300 to $500 a day. But they're not going to work every day. The guys go, wow, that's a lot of money. Well, they're not going to work every day. Female performers can make, again, depending on who they are and what they're willing to do, they can make anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 a day.
I actually did 87 movies as an actor, and then it wasn't for me. I don't like people watching. And funny enough, I don't enjoy watching that much. It's a great thing to do. And watching's boring when you've seen thousands and thousands of people have sex.
But assuming you get all through that, then you got to have the control to keep going until it's all done. And that can take anywhere from half an hour to an hour. I mean, I've done scenes that lasted 2 hours or more. And you have to keep going. They'll either wait for you to get things going again, and if that takes too long, then they'll have somebody come in and do a stunt, which means they shoot all the softcore with your face and your body in there, and then when they come for the hardcore parts, they have somebody else step in.
The big misconception of adult movies, or my adult movies, is that it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll on the set. And the reality is it's bad food, long hours, and hard work. But I think our look achieves far greater than anyone else in this business.
Oh man, when you stare at this stuff long enough, you don't even see it anymore, you know. A lot of people, like people out in the real world, would want to come onto a set and just look at all of it and say, oh my God, this is great, and just stand around. Once you've stared at it for like 5 years, you don't even see it anymore. I mean, We could be doing a scene and they could bring in a mule and I wouldn't even know it until 10 minutes later.
But when I'm working with a girl,
Oh, not the sweet cheeks.
if she can convince me that she's been waiting, all her life to have sex with me, and I can convince her that I've been waiting, at least an hour to have sex with her, usually the scenes are great. Now, it's all a game, and it's all see, some of the girls, they don't want to act like that because they don't want you to like fall in love with them. When the director says cut, it's over with.
Cut.
So,
Okay.
A lot of them are acting, but some of them really do enjoy, and you can tell there's little subtle things. If you really pay attention when a girl is acting when she's not, the type of sound she makes, her body language.
Right.
There's a big thing in her eyes.
No, you know the software in the other position anyway. Yeah, we got all this. You got software.
Most movies we shoot two versions, one hardcore, one softcore. Hardcore is very graphic, and softcore you don't see anything. We just shot a scene right by a road at a gas station, so we had to set up a big, huge curtain so when people drove by they couldn't obviously see what we were doing. Yeah, if you only knew what was behind those curtains. I do.
Sex is ready to go mainstream. I think it's being very accepted. You can tell by mainstream movies they're getting. You can see someone's butt on NYPD Blues on television now. So I think sex is starting to become mainstream. And if someone's going to do it, it should be me because I shoot it better than them. I pretty much know the Lord loves me and He loves great sex too. So I'm going to be there to capture it.
Cut. That's a wrap.
Okay, when we come back, our audience will have a chance to ask questions, and I'm sure they have some ready, so stay with us.
How would you like a better paying job or make more money in your present job when now you can train at home in just a few months for one of America's 22 top career opportunities? With Professional Career Development Institute, it's simple. Just select the career you've always dreamed about and train in the convenience of your home at your own pace. You'll get this nationally recognized diploma after you've trained for the career you've always wanted. Take a look at PCDI's exciting career opportunities.
So please call 1-800-96-JERRY and tell us about it.
Welcome back. Welcome back, and we have questions now from the audience. Yes.
Okay, if you guys are basically getting paid to have sex, how come you don't get arrested or anything for like prostitution or anything like that?
Anybody?
Well, I'll field,
anyone.
I'll field it since I pay them. Actually, it's all you need is film permits, and this is strictly legal to do it. All you need is film permits, and it's like a film production company.
Yeah, you can't. It's pretty hard to get arrested for making a movie.
Unless it's done illegal.
Yeah. Okay,
I'd also like to add, we're not being paid to have sex. We're being paid to let them film us having sex.
Okay.
Do anyone take...
Oh, everyone's suddenly going, ah. Now all of a sudden you're taking your cameras with you on Friday nights, yeah.
My question is, do anyone practice safe sex?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Do you worry about that? You know, there's no guarantee that it's always safe. I mean, is that something? Is that just?
Well, we're tested every 30 days. We have to show proof of test when we show up on the set. I use condoms with all my male partners, as well as Naloxone 9.
Okay.
As a mother, I just wonder, do any of you have any kids at all? Or do you plan to in the future? Because on the one video they showed, the one lady that made adult films said that they had a daughter, and she told her daughter that she was a model. If you feel really comfortable with this, why wouldn't you tell her the truth? If you don't, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want her to know what you do.
Yeah, what about that?
I don't have any children at this time. Probably in the future I plan on settling down, having a family, but I'll probably be separated from the industry at that point.
For her, for the answer that Nicole gave, the woman that had the kid in the thing there, in the video, I just think that until the child is of a certain age, it shouldn't really be explained to them until they can fully understand what it is.
And is there a part of you that says, you know, I'm enjoying it now, the money's good, I'm enjoying the fame and all that, but there's going to come a time in my life when I'm not sure I would like my children to know that this is what I did for a living. You know, you kind of get labeled, don't you?
I don't feel ashamed of it, and I don't think I would hide it. However, I'm not necessarily sure I would tell them while they were still very young. You know, I want to raise them with morals and with an understanding of what's right and what's wrong.
And then when your 16-year-old daughter comes to you and says, you know, I got a date Friday night, and, you know, I'm having sex with him, and you want to say to your daughter, you know, 16's a little bit young for this, she's going to say, Mom, you're a fine one to talk.
Well, you know, there's a point, though. You know, you explain about condoms, and you explain about safe sex, and you explain about trying not to have it when you're too young, but everybody's an individual, and you can only do what you can do as a parent.
And also, we're not 16 years old.
Okay.
You know.
So many people who commit sex crimes link what they do to watching pornographic movies or looking at the magazines. Do you ever feel guilty or bad because you're contributing to this behavior, or no?
No.
We're not contributing to this behavior.
No.
Sex crimes aren't necessarily about sex. It's about power and media.
Okay, for the two girls, I was wondering, when you do have children and they decide to do what you do, are you going to say it's okay?
I'm not going to tell them no, but I'll tell them how to do it right.
Hoorah!
Do we have any good-looking men that come out in these kind of movies? Because we got Pee Wee Herman coming out next.
You don't think they're good men?
Hi, I was just wondering, were you guys ever nominated for any awards for your work?
Yes.
I'm sure everyone here has at least won one award for their performances. Absolutely.
You have won awards, yeah?
I have won a couple awards, yes.
And I just won one for a different film that I did for Wicked called Silver Screen Confidential. I won Best Actor in a Non-Sex Performance.
Yeah, what do they call the award? Not an Oscar.
It's the Adult Video News Award.
Right.
When you're filming, I assume the women have to fake an orgasm for the film, for the storyline?
Hopefully not.
I have all real orgasms.
Do you ever have to fake one?
I have had to on an occasion, but I try to make sure the guy or the girl knows what I like, so I don't have to fake that.
You're not shy about your questions. Yes, go ahead.
I was just curious if any of you guys have had problems with impotence when you were filming.
I don't.
I don't really know if you would call it impotence. It's just a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know, that's on you.
I'll be back with a final thought in just a moment. We'll be right back. Thank you. Let me take this opportunity to thank all of you for being with us. It was a most interesting show, and good luck in the decisions you make about your future career. You know, it's simply a day at the office. Up at dawn, a drive to the studio, makeup, a few directorial suggestions, then off with the clothing, a little groping, well-placed grunts and groans, various sexual acts, get dressed, and go home to spouse and child. To hear the participants, the pay is good, the work is relatively easy, the environment is safe, there's nothing even remotely romantic or sensual about the work. It's simply a job. Now, one might well argue how safe it really is. Condoms can surely bring a false sense of security. But there's no question there's a market for what they do. The adult film industry is a multi-hundred-million-dollar enterprise. And in a free market system where many, if not most people, believe what consenting adults do in the privacy of their own home is nobody else's business, we can't be too surprised that there's no shortage of people willing to profit from the endeavor of feeding sexual fantasies. Surely, moral arguments can be raised by this kind of activity, but in a free society, they will be answered by God, one's religion, and one's moral conscience, not by the government. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other. Thank you very much for being on. You were very good. You were great. Thanks a lot. Thank you. You're great. Yeah, I would love it. You're very good. You really are. Thank you.